This is Jimmy with my second attempt at doing a video. However, I have to use my phone to record my voice and follow up on the video. So you should be looking at my main home screen for Thinkorswim. And on that home screen, I keep gold in a little thumbnail here on a short term, silver right below, and then JNUG, one of my favorite holdings of all times. So let's start with gold. Well, let's start with silver daily. This is my most marked up chart. And what we've got here is, this goes back to August 4th. So I'm just going to add a little time to it. Try to disregard all these targets and so forth. I'll get into that later. However, looking at the silver contract, we had a tremendous move that's, I think, surprised everybody. And we now have peaked and are doing a pullback. The question is, when is this pullback over, and has it already occurred? Okay, so what we'll notice here as we had this, let's just go in a little closer. So this day here was the breakout day with volume, and I'm using this, what was a target here, as the breakout point, right around $41. And so this is September 1st. We did a nice run up. This was kind of an indicator, this volume day, and kind of an indecision day with high red volume. Then all of a sudden we reverse up, major move upward, another indecision day up, and up to the final top up here at 53.72. And one of the guys on TFNN says that's not the all-time high. He saw the all-time high in 1980 or 2011, which was 54 something. And that's where I have a couple targets right here, 54.56, 54.55, right there, two different ABCs, and we failed to reach it. So what's occurred now is these dots are my TSI that my trading buddies know about and how much I like them. I've coded them differently. I've doubled the out-of-the-box numbers, and the TSI is a true strength index. And once the dailies cross, it's pretty ominous, but it becomes more clear when we look at the 4-hour chart. And what I'll do is show you 4 hours, 360 unit bars. So this one goes back to July 8th. We were trading at the level trying to break out a 32 area. We had a little breakout in October, pull back again, and then another smash down. Oh, excuse me, this is the beginning of the year. Sorry, what is that? Blah, blah, blah. All right, here's the beginning of the year, right here. And this is where I actually hadn't been trading for several years, and I said, well, usually at the beginning of the year you can do something that, or start your investment program and see where you're at a year later. So this is April, the tariff crash, and then this is, what I'm calling the breakout area right in here. So let's zoom in on that. And so what you'll notice is my TSI. Let me just go back to the 180 units on the TSI. So the reason I'm a buyer in here is this. The TSI is so ahead of the price that it gives you great signals. And when you get the TSI expanded mostly, that's where usually you'll find the best buying opportunities. Let me go back to 360. So when was the last time the TSI looked like this? Right there, right at that low, That was July 30th. The next one was April. And it almost looks like these are equal cycles for all you cycle people. So I'm a confident buyer in this particular move. Now, the silver move got awfully heavy with a major, I guess you could call it exponential, but basically an attempt at an exponential move before this ABC came in. And this ABC here targets to 54. So there's room for silver to reach this level or this level. Some people say it's going to zigzag. Others say we're in a major top, and you'll get a 60% retracement, maybe here up to 50, 51, 52. However, these are lower targets that I had drawn as lower ones. If these fail to get hit, that means the bull market's still intact. All right, so shorter term, let's analyze this movement here, especially this low. I was lucky enough to buy down in here the AGQ after watching it overnight. So looking at the shorter term, we're going to pay attention to the 1 hour TSI, and we now can see that the 1 hour, trended down with this market, and to this final low. We've the 1 hour TSI, that's True Strength Index, now has moved out and moved above, all these little highs here. That's not too critical, but it's worth noting. So right in here again was a good buy signal, and we've got, remember, the 4 hour giving a good buy signal in here. So so now the 30-minute is going to determine a lot of things. We had a short-term move, and not so much of a move, but a decent move on the 30-minute. And this particular little section here in the True Strength may be turning up. Oh, excuse me, that's the 2 hour. Sorry about that. 30-minute looks like this, obviously overbought. But usually this happens during the U.S. And I'm getting a silver alert at 47.51. I've got a couple of alerts right in here for silver that I've put in based on some support levels. So those are going off at the moment. That's what that sound is. So overnight, if we're wanting, continuing our bullish idea, the silver 15-minute was able to actually cool off its overbought levels. And we can also notice that silver True Strength went higher than the highs on the way down. So I think that's hopeful for a positive day now, overnight. So again, the 15-minute, this is the standard RSI, got overbought. And here we have a down moment and a down moment making up for some lows. The market's 47.49 for silver at the moment. So we can watch these trades in real time, or the trading activity in real time. And now I've gone down to the 5-minute, and the 5-minute has gotten out of overbought into oversold while the market obviously went down, but now it's actually looks like it's resting overnight. And so drawing out an ABC here, let me change a couple things. Go to the time axis and bring this out 100. Okay, so we've got a good bottom here. We've got an AB leg. This is the drawing I use called the fib extension. And I learned this from Rick Ackerman a lot of years ago. I went to his class in Boulder, his first class, and got to know Rick. An interesting guy. You can hear him on Howe Street pretty much every week. And he talks about the markets. I like Rick. He's all right. So now here we are with an ABC, if this bottom holds, of $50 price. So that's one way to look at this, and that's on the 5-minute chart. So I'll take silver back out to the 30-day, 4-hour, which is what I like to use, as I can see what's happening here. I can see the lower targets. I can see the higher targets. Interesting on this move here that volume dwindled. Okay, let's look at something else. How about gold /GC? So I think gold has a little more to go on the downside, while silver could rally or go flat. It just seems like this 3,700 or a test down here of 3,900 would be appropriate. So this is a pretty strong ABC down. We've got another potential ABC here. If we go here and there and then down to here on this little tight down leg. Again, 3,781, 3,800 is probably a very safe place to be buying gold. I'll move along to my others, which would be GDX. So GDX, let's see, this ABC was violated, which is okay. The other ABC that's here is from here down to here and out to here. So I'll pull that across. So that measures to 63 on GDX. I'm not sure we're going to get that far, but who knows? We could. Again, here with a 4-hour TSI, which on the longer term, going out to 180, very oversold. In fact, so oversold, back up the truck. And that's what I told my trading buddies. The interesting thing on the 4-hour TSI, you'll see, obviously, these moves upward and downwards. The TSI that I have on a programmed in here, is set to exaggerate the moves. That's why I try to do this. And the big tell was here we had like a triple top, if you will. This decline brought it down to a lower high, and then the TSI crossed price, and then we were further weakening till we got this last gush of buying, and then it fell apart. But we have exhausted the TSI downward, so it is a very good time, in my opinion, to buy high-quality gold stocks. Next week, the big ones are reporting earnings. That would be IAG, WPM, Wheaton Precious Metals, and a couple others. So looking at this chart, again, I want to draw an ABC. This is the breakout level that I'm calling, where we broke out above $54, $56 there on GDX. You can see the volume in here, and you can see that spike up day. So my A is there, my B is now up in that zone, and my C, if this holds, takes us up to 99 for GDX. So another way to look at this too is you do the study known as volume profile, and volume profile is under the V's, alpha all studies under V. Well, it's called volume profile, and what you get on the volume profile is a horizontal look at where most of the volume is. So this is kind of cautionary, because typically volume, the price is going to seek the volume point of control. Now, on a shorter term, if we look at it, maybe we just take half of that data, go across, oh, sorry, let's just do it this way. Take a 30-day, 4-hour. We see where the volume point of control is on the 4-hour, and there's a lot of volume right in here between 79 and 72. So that's a combination of all this action and all this action. And we're at the lower range, or we were at the lower range of the volume point of control. It gives you an idea where price will migrate to. Okay, next one, let's do GDXJ. Looks pretty much the same. The volume is larger, it looks like. I think GDXJ shows lower volume. The TSI is crossing, if you see the red and yellow dots. And if we look at the short term again, let's just go to 30-minute. Where is it? There, 30-minute. We've got a lot of volume up here and a big area where this fell down all in here through that price, and we're now back where most of the volume is taking place. So that's a nice way to look at where you're at when you get into a rally situation like that. So I drew on this one, I drew some regressions. Interestingly enough, we are exactly at the top of a regression channel. Let's see, drawing regression. So if we start up here at the high, we're right at this regression point crossing. We also had on the 30-minute a high RSI. So the RSI swung all the way back down. So if we look at the 4-hour, 30-day on this, again, looking in here, the TSI is crossed. Now, sometimes they'll still struggle, and they'll go down and they'll kiss the red dots and then make a little move. We're hoping that this is the end of the decline, and then we're looking for a 68% retracement, and then see what's happening there. Matt Fraley from Breakpoint Trades says it's going to take months, but he's using the previous highs in silver and gold as guides. So he's thinking we could rally back here, and then all hell would break loose down. Okay, that's GDXJ. Sorry, I'm gonna go to AGQ. So AGQ is 2x silver. This is one that I'm in presently right now. I managed to buy like right in here near this low thing. I saw this overnight trade was pretty weak. Still down targets down here, 67, 62. I'm probably going to have some stops in here just so I don't lose a dime if it drops. But I've got a good position in this. And if we look at the I'm going to do another ABC on it, Fibonacci extension. So if we look in here on, no, skip that. Hang on a minute. I like the 30-day 4-hour. You get kind of a good look at things. So in here, there's these targets that basically were already acquired and broken. But if we look at this low and this high, then we come down to earlier today, we got a target of 85 on Nugget, or on AGQ, which if we also then look at a Fibonacci retracement, that is probably near to the 60-some% level. Let's see, about there. And it's exactly at the 50% retracements. So that's good news. I'm glad to know that. So what I'm going to do is actually put in some, I'll put in some alerts in there, but what I like to do is just sort of box in some of these targets so they stand out, and some of these levels. So yeah, so here's the 50% of the retracement. So we're definitely going to probably go up here. Okay, last but not least, what I need to show is the my use of FinViz. So on FinViz is finviz.com. It's a great site. I've been using it for a lot of years. In fact, I've been writing to one of their support people about a couple things, and they're really responsive. So these are the metals: gold, silver, platinum, copper, palladium. And this is a chart area I watch. This is a great page. You simply go to futures, which is going to show you all of the futures. The first chart you get is a bar graph, which shows you which are gaining and which are declining. It's good to look at. And then from there, you can look at charts, or excuse me, you can look at just the metals right here. And there's your charts. It gives you a daily. Looks like, hopefully the metals are consolidating. I mean, copper's already done it. It's moving up. These all look really interesting to me. And then we go to a shorter term, look at the 1 hour. Here's silver, hopefully making a higher high, or higher low, I mean, on the 1 hour. 30-minute, just a little zoom in of that. And then the 15-minute, here we are in the overnight session, and things are quieting down. Now, the next thing on FinViz, and I encourage you to just look through all of these menu items and all of these menu items. And we'll look at the screener here. That's right here. And my go-to screen on this is it's got all these preset things that you can preset, like any exchange, market cap, etc. But I'll show you the magic of it. Just go to any industry, and if you're on your desktop, just type G twice and you'll hit gold, or just scroll down till you hit gold, and you'll see this submenu of the controlling aspects of this these gold stocks. There's usually 5 pages of them here, and if you click on change, you'll be able to see which of these stocks are most gaining and most losing. Something I watch too is I watch how many are gaining and how many pages are losing. Another thing I like to watch from here, if I know the order is by change, so I can actually see by looking at the charts what's happening to the various stocks. New Gold was very good. So this is a pretty good sign when you see these kinds of reactions in these groups of stocks. Like the THM was Tower Hill Mines. I bought some of that today. I've owned it, and I think I sold it like in here. I missed this move. ODV. Now, when you highlight over these, it gives you the market cap. You can see it right in the dialogue that chops up. Now, that's a $5 billion company. This is a small 386 million. Oops. When you click on the stock chart, you'll get a better look at more fundamentals. NFGC, I'm told this one has a whole lot of gold in the ground and a good plan and so forth. I need to update my research on it. Again, these are just the top ones that are making moves today. Sorry, my mouse wants to just click on things. So the best thing you can do now is go back to the table overview. We were just looking at charts. And we then can look at valuations, financial, ownership, performance, technical. All these are really good things to check out as you're looking at the stocks. So one thing that's always of interest to people is the market cap. You click market cap and you get an $86 billion market cap on Newmont Mining. When you hover over the symbol, you can see the daily chart. So that's Newmont, AEM, Barrick. Barrick looks really interesting because it's held up and it's just doing a sideways correction there. Wheaton Precious Metals, big one that I owned, made good money on them. Franco-Nevada I owned, also made good money, sold near the top. Not that I'm bragging, it's a pain, it's really a hard thing to do. Our Gold, I like that and I own that as well. So why are those names of interest to me? Because I went to the financial page, and on this page, you can sort the table by profit margin. So I looked at what are the top profit margin companies. The first one, Franco-Nevada, the second, Our Gold, the third, WPM, the fourth, IAG, and the next one being OR Royalties, and then Newmont. So I had then strategized and had bought decent-sized positions in these top names, these 4 top names, because over here they're the top profit margin. They're also the top operating margins, or at least, these 3 of them are. And OR doesn't show up for some reason. Maybe they don't make a lot of money operating. So the gross margin, who's the winners? OR is GROY, a little company, 364. No income though. So for instance, you see GROY, it's a royalty company, and it's got a nice sideways chart like Barrick. Not a lot of scariness. And then you go down to the financial summary, 621 market cap, income of 1.85 million, a loss, I guess, 12 million in sales. Not too much sales for a $600 million company. The PE is weak, price to sales ratio is pretty high, and not so great on the operating margin. So I would, that's more of a speculative issue. Here you can see the performance of it. Year to date, it's up 200%. Over the 1 year ago, 149. 3 years is 47%. So these are the juniors, the little guys that have moved over time. So then for here, if you're into the small stocks, what I've done is basically called this my universe, and I'm just becoming familiar and with these particular group of stocks. I can see based on change how many are moving up, which ones are the worst, or golly geez. Sort by change. So the loser today was TRX, and this NAM, stay away from that one. And there's another one named BLG or something, blue something, BT. Stay away from those 2. They're new and they're just, I think they're garbage. I wrote FinViz about it, and they said we don't edit the stocks. These are the ones. And I'll say they're scams. Okay, well that just about wraps it up. in terms of what I have to say today. I think for the market recap, I think we're going to head up in silver AGQ up into this area. I like hearing that alert sound on silver because it means it's trading up and down right at my target zones. And I guess what would be a potential sell point is when the daily RSI, excuse Leon, the daily RSI gets up to above 70. So all through this move, and I had a note in here, RSI can get more overbought. And then I said, silver looks like it'll make it to 57s. I should park the date that I make that prediction. So not too bad. I mean, we really washed out a lot here. I'll talk about the bullion banks tomorrow. Look up Dave Morgan or Andy Schectman. Andy Schectman is on $2 investing, and he's I forget his company name, big gold dealer down in Florida. I bought my first physical from Andy back in like 2004 or something at like $900 on gold. That's it for me now. Jimmy from the farm, I wish you well, and I'll close out with some photographs.